All right, Algebra 1, we are moving on to 3.2. We are starting with an equation. This one happens to be in the equation of a line in slope-intercept form. It doesn't have to be. It just needs a variable x, and then it needs a y out here. And we see y's as either a y or an f of x. It's the same thing. They're interchangeable. The nice thing about this f of x is that when we say find f of -2, this -2 is in the place of this x in the parentheses, right? So we're going to take that -2 and we're going to plug it into the place of this x. So we see that f of -2 equals 3x minus 4, and we plugged in that -2 for the x. We know there's an imaginary multiplication sign between a number and a letter, so we are still multiplying. 3 times -2 is -6. Minus 4 is -10. So we know when we plug in -2 for the x, we get 10 for the y. So you could assume that the point is -2, 10. Same kind of thing right here, just different wording. We have y, or f of x, equals -2 times x minus 7 plus 3. We're saying if the domain is -1, so if the x value is -1, that's just a different way of saying it. What's the range value? So when we plug in -1 for x, what is our y? That's all that this is asking. So let's take that -1 and plug it in for the x right here. -2 times -1 minus 7 plus 3. PEMDAs, we got to do inside the parentheses first. -1 times -7 is -8. When we multiply these two together, we have a positive 16. We add 3 in our y, our range value is 19. So when we plug in -1, we get out 19. Last example here, we have a table. We have the x's on top and the y's on the bottom. So we would have the point -2, 6, 0, 5, 2, 4, and 4, 3. Notice the y's on the bottom go 6, 5, 4, 3. So they're going down 1 every time, right? -1 every time. And the x's are going +2. They're going up 2 every time. So since both the top and bottom go up and down by the same every time, we would say that this is a linear function because they're going up and down by the same every time. Additionally, we don't have any x's that have 2 y values, so it's just a function in general. And then our slope is going to be rise over run, which is y, or f of x, over x. And our f of x went down 1 every time, so -1 over 2. So we have our slope and our y-intercept. That's just when x is 0, our y is 5. So let's write that equation right there, and that's all we got.